Hi guys, one last video for today. This one's going to be kind of a doozy. There's a reason I gave you almost a full page of paper to work on this one. So as the camera focuses, let's just be prepared to go. We are solving rational equations. I see more than one fraction on both sides. So that means it's probably going to be like one of these LCD problems, okay, lowest common denominator problems, as opposed to cross multiplying. So here's what I need to do. I need to make sure that I get, first of all, the values of x that are going to be an issue. So I can see from this one that x can't be 3 because that would give me 3 minus 3. I see from this one that x can't be positive or negative 3 because either one of those, when I square it, becomes a 9, and 9 minus 9 is 0. And then from this one, I see that x cannot be a negative 3. So really the issues I need to watch out for, the numbers I need to watch out for, are 3 and negative 3. Here we go. Second step, what is the smallest thing that these all go into? Well, I want you to understand, before we go any farther, I want you to understand that x squared minus 9 does factor out. That's x plus 3, x minus 3. So really it's just a combination of these two things right here, right? That's convenient, because that means that whenever I write my fractions, I can say this. The lowest thing, the smallest thing that they all go into would just simply be x plus 3, x minus 3. That'll go into this. No problem there. Having some lighting issues if you can't tell. Second fraction definitely goes into x plus 3, x minus 3, because that's what it is. It's x squared minus 9. Minus, and then the third fraction would be x plus 3, x minus 3. It also goes into that, right? So all three of these fractions, the denominators will go into these pieces. Okay, so now it comes time to make the adjustments. See, this already has the x minus 3, so it looks like it needs the x plus 3 on both top and bottom, right? And so what I'm going to simply do is I'm going to multiply both top and bottom by the x plus 3, right? So it's like doing this, x plus 3 here on top and the x plus 3 here on the bottom. The second one already has both the x plus 3 and the x minus 3, so I don't need to make any adjustments. It just remains the x squared. The last one already has the x plus 3, so it looks like it needs the x minus 3. And so I'm going to simply have 4x times the x minus 3 on the right-hand top fraction. Okay, so the nice thing is, I know this looks terrible, but now that I have all the same denominators, I could care less about them now. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go from here, just the numerators down, right? And I'm going to go ahead and distribute out some stuff. So I have 6x plus 18 on the left. On the right-hand side, I have 8x squared. And I'm going to leave this as 4x times x minus 3 for just a second, okay? Simple error that's made. Whenever the error and the minus sign is written down here, people tend to mess up the value of this thing right here. They forget that the negative distributes out to everything in here, okay? So if I just simply rewrite it as this, I think you're going to see my error in just a second, ready? Or actually how I avoid the error. The left-hand side is just 6x plus 18. The right-hand side is 8x squared. Now ready? Minus 4x times x, which is minus 4x squared, and then a negative 4x times a negative 3, which is a positive 12x. There's a tendency to mess up that sign, okay? So be careful about that, because whenever I do it this way, I see 4x minus 12, and 4x times a negative 3 is a minus 12, so it's I would see a negative 12x show up here, okay? So this is correct. I just want you to be careful about your positives and negatives. All right, let's combine like terms. Let's get everything on the same side. So I have 6x plus 18 on the left. It looks like I have 4x squared plus 12x on the right. Let's subtract the 6x from both sides. Let's also subtract the 18 from both sides, because now that's setting it equal to 0, and we're going to solve it like a parabola problem. I get 4x squared plus 6x minus 18. Before I go any farther, I can try to factor this out, but I think it's going to be a lot easier. I notice that everything here is even, so I'm just going to divide out by 2. Okay, that's the biggest number that I can divide out and still keep everything as a whole number. So that gives me 0 equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 9. That's what I'm going to try to factor real quick. So a review of factoring, I'm gonna let you go through and try to do this on your own. I've already factored it out before I work this example out, okay? For the sake of time, I'm going to skip it. But this factors out, if you can do it correctly, 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. If you can't factor that, come get help from me in class or go watch some of our factoring videos, okay? That means then that x plus 3 is equal to 0, or 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So if I subtract, that means x equals negative 3 from the left one, or 2x is equal to a positive 3, which means x is 3/2. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to check my values. Remember, I got to check against those problems that we're going to be, what are the values that are going to be problems? And I see that x cannot be 3 plus or minus 3, right? And so I come down here and I go, whoa, wait a second here. I thought negative 3 was the solution. Well, according to this it is, but whenever I come up here, if I put a negative 3 in, that gives me 4x divided by 0, right? I can't divide by 0. So I have to go through now. I have to cross that out because negative 3 is now an extraneous solution. My only real solution is x is equal to 3/2. That is a doozy of a problem, folks. And as an introductory problem, that's kind of mean to do, right? So you might see 1 or 2 of these on the test, but it's not going to be a ton of them, okay? So there you go. There's enough to get you started. You should be able to get some help whenever you're with me today working on these rational equations in class.